Welcome to our Friday edition of InfoHub. President Granger says government intends to establish a world-class petroleum sector. He has also given government's assurance that the needs of teachers in relation to wages and salaries will be met. And Minister Lawrence is in favor of providing alternatives to the punitive punishment of persons who commit non-violent crimes and have drug dependency issues. We begin with news coming out of a press conference held by President David Granger today. The president told the media fraternity his government is cognizant of the continuous oil discoveries offshore Guyana and is committed to building a world-class petroleum sector. Stacey Carmichael tells us more.
President David Granger said the recently established Department of Energy has a wide range of issues to address as it relates to the regulation of the petroleum sector.
We are conscious of the international environment, we are conscious of our commitments, we are conscious of the continuing discoveries of large amounts of petroleum offshore Guyana, and we intend to establish a world-class industry that is well regulated. It will take time to recruit the high-level people. They were not in place in Guyana as of May 2015. And we are now moving to recruit the best people worldwide.
The head of state disclosed that the Department of Energy is an interim measure since the small unit within the Ministry of Natural Resources did not have the capacity to bear the burden of a world-class petroleum industry.
The decision on the 1st of August came about as a result of the Minister of Natural Resources' request to Cabinet that the portfolio or the responsibility for petroleum be removed from the Ministry of Natural Resources, and it was on that basis that the decision was made to set up a Department of Energy. The Department of Energy itself is just, I would say, an interim measure. In due course, we hope to have a ministry responsible for the petroleum industry. It is too large.
The president said government is still in the early stages of setting up the department, but in due course, there will be a Ministry of Energy or Ministry of Petroleum. As it relates to the agreements with ExxonMobil, the head of state said these will be subject to review by the Department of Energy.
Once international contracts have been engaged in, there is no question of removal or renegotiation of those contracts. We will move forward and ensure that we continue to get the best advice before we engage in any other negotiations.
Given the circumstances at the time, the president said the government negotiated with ExxonMobil for what was possible at the time. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Also coming out of that press conference, the head of state gave his government's assurance that the needs of teachers, specifically in relation to wages and salaries, will be met as the Ministry of Finance examines new sources of funding. Let's join Stacey again.
President David Granger today expressed the belief that strike action by the teachers should be a last resort. The president said there is still room for mediation talks between the government and the Guyana Teachers Union, GTU. The head of state said, as was the case with the Gaisuco workers, government is currently looking at budgetary cuts to programs within various agencies and ministries to meet the initial payment to teachers.
If mediation fails, we can go to arbitration. But I think it's premature to speak of a strike at this stage. And we are still, on the government side, aiming at mediation. I do not believe that mediation has failed. The government has been trying to meet the teachers' needs after several discussions at Cabinet on the high-level panel report. Money was found to augment the initial offer, and even as I speak, the Ministry of Social Protection, which has responsibility for labor and industrial relations, is in touch with the Ministry of Finance to see whether additional funds could be found from other heads of government expenditure in order to move closer to the goal of providing sufficient funds for the teachers.
President Granger reminded that over the last 3 years, the lowest paid teachers have been beneficiaries of pay increases along with other public servants.
The teachers were not discriminated against. They got all of the benefits the public servants were getting all along. But Nevertheless, we are cognizant of the needs of the teachers, and we are still, we haven't abandoned the negotiations. We are still in negotiation at this day, as far as I'm concerned.
Asked about discussions on the multi-year agreement with the GTU, President Granger said at this stage the immediate focus is for the two parties to conclude an agreement which would see the calling off of strike action and the beginning of long-term discussions on the multi-year agreement. Meantime, the head of state, while acknowledging that the contingency plan to be activated in the event of the strike action is not very favored, said it is a temporary arrangement.
If you want to call it a band-aid, and it is not meant to last beyond the present crisis. So naturally there'll be problems of capacity in terms of engagement. The experienced retirees may have the knowledge. Obviously trainee teachers are just what they are. They're on the training and they would not have the knowledge to teach the children to the standard that is expected. So we hope that this crisis is of short duration and that we go back to normalcy. This is abnormal to have teachers, retired teachers and trainee teachers. It's abnormal, and we hope to return to normalcy as quickly as possible.
The Ministry of Education assured that they will be galvanizing the support of retired teachers and students of the Cyril Potter College of Education, CPCE, to fall into place in the event the strike action of the GTU continues into the commencement of the new school term on September 3. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Thanks, Stacey. More news coming out of the press conference can be viewed on our website and Facebook page. Now let's turn our attention to some news coming out of the health sector. Public Health Minister Waldo Lawrence tells stakeholders, let's not incarcerate what we can rehabilitate, as she delivered a feature address at the launch of the annual Drug Information Network report this morning. The minister is in favor of providing alternatives to the punitive punishments handed down to persons who commit non-violent crimes and have drug dependency issues. Alexis Rodney tells us more.
Minister Lawrence said figures on incarceration for drug users continue to mount without any hint of reversal, and this is resulting in a needless spending of state funds. The minister was delivering the feature address at the launch of the annual Drug Information Network report at the Georgetown Club this morning. According to Minister Lawrence, efforts must be made to prevent, treat and rehabilitate nonviolent drug abusers.
Let us not incarcerate those whom we can rehabilitate. For the less heinous crimes, of course, let us work with the courts to provide alternatives to the punitive punishments and help those in need via substance abuse treatment modalities rather than imprisonment.
Minister Lawrence said the money could instead be spent on developing prevention programs that will target the youth and at-risk population. Data from the 2017 report shows that some 55,139 kilograms of narcotics were seized by law enforcement officials. Over 117,000 kilograms of marijuana plants were destroyed. Police were also able to remove drugs valued at over $20 million from the streets, convicting 300 persons for various drug crimes. Head of the Guyana Drug Information Network, Tiffany Barry, said that the institution has been fighting the prevalence of drug usage in the country.
We have noted that over 250 professionals, such as social workers and other law enforcement bodies, have received vital capacity building training for them to deliver not only drug prevention trainings across the country, but to also do things such as motivational interviewing and drug relapse prevention, which are key in fighting this problem. The Ministry of Education, through its health promotion department, also play a vital role by focusing on our key population, which are our students.
This year's report was developed by the Drug Information Network with technical assistance from the cooperation program between Latin America and the Caribbean. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
And in Region 8, more than 200 students will start a new school year at the Cato Secondary School, while 5 trained teachers from Georgetown will begin their careers at the new facility. The Cato School was structurally completed in 2015 but was deemed unfit to conduct classes and to house students and teachers. Several infrastructural defects needed to be remedied before the building could be utilized. The government has worked assiduously to ensure that the school was completed and opened for the new school year. This secondary school adds to the complement of secondary schools in the region, the others being Madya Secondary and Paramakatoy Secondary. In our final report, Crystal Stahl tells us about a new business that can come in handy, as no job is too big for Made Simple Guyana.
Founder of the business, Ali Williams, related to InfoHub that her one-year-old business offers wide-ranging residential and commercial cleaning services at affordable prices.
We do have adult care, we have carpet and upholstery, so we come in if you have, your lobby area, your carpets, whatever, we clean that. We do tile, we do grout, you want a one-off cleaning, you're doing Christmas cleaning, anything in terms of the cleaning aspect, we can cover that.
The 36-year-old entrepreneur said the idea for the business venture developed while she was completing her master's degree in business administration at the University of Australia. Since its startup in 2017, the response to Made Simple Guyana has been overwhelming.
It is actually picking up nicely. Of course, business takes a little while before it can be, established in but we are doing pretty well. We have several commercial businesses. We're in the banking sector, we're in the beverage sector, the dental sector. So we do have a few commercial clients, but my big, or the big area that I'm covering right now is residential, most of work. But I'm looking forward, to getting one major contract from the government. We're looking forward to getting into the bids, into the larger aspect of the cleaning. That would really like to see more small businesses getting into the bidding process and being able to win those bids.
The cleaning service employs over 22 permanent staff and 17 part-time workers. The mother of two assures the public of the competence and integrity of her employees. She explained that prior to executing any job, customers are given the opportunity to meet the staff to ensure comfort.
We make sure that these people, they're trustworthy. We make sure that they are hard workers. We make sure they're courteous. Made Simple is a company that will provide exactly what they say that they're going to do. So if we come to your home and we say, we're going to do this, we provide it. If we come to your business and we say we can do this, we will do this. And if you're not satisfied, we come back and we make sure that whatever that you want or areas you want us to retouch, we do that.
Williams also highlighted that the workers come fully backed with the necessary certification and experience in the services offered by the business. She noted additional training is provided to her staff through a small group of qualified entrepreneurs she engages. William encourages homeowners and commercial businesses to sign on with her venture. She can be contacted via mobile on 608-2840 or on the business Facebook page, Made Simple Guyana. Reporting for InfoHub, Crystal Stahl.
Remember to connect with us on social media and check out our website at dpi.gov.gy for more stories. We'll leave you with the latest CPL match results and, of course, your bridge and weather reports. Goodbye.